If you retired today with $1 million, $3 million, or $5 million, how much could you withdraw each month without running out of money? Two people can have the same portfolio, but get very different results. One could run out of their money in their 70s. Another could pass away with more than they started with. Same number, very different results. Why? Because retirement success isn't about how much you have. It's about how you structure it. In this video, I'm going to share what $1 million, $3 million, $5 million actually generate in real spendable income. We'll look at 4 key forces that determine if that income can last over the years. And finally, I'll show you how to create a simple portfolio operating system. This way, your money will flow each month with clarity, guardrails, and structure. Stay with me till the end because a few smart changes in withdrawal order and tax planning can save you nearly hundreds of thousands of dollars. Hi friends, welcome back. I'm Diane. For more than 15 years, I've guided organizations like the World Bank and top private equity firms on investment strategy. Now I help professionals and families create retirement-ready plans rooted in real numbers. So grab your coffee and let's dive in. So let's start with clean math. If you apply a 3%, 4%, or 5% withdrawal rate, here's what that looks like in real dollars. On $1 million portfolio, a 3% withdrawal gives you $30,000. 4%, $40,000, 5%, $50,000, or roughly $2,500, $3,300, and $4,100 per month. Now layer in Social Security. The average projected benefit in 2026 is about $2,000 per month. So combined income could look roughly like $4,500 per month at 3% withdrawal, $5,400 per month at 4% withdrawal, or just over $6,200 at 5%. That sounds solid. And remember, $1 million net worth puts you roughly in the top 10% of US household. But here's the important part. Spending determines whether this feels comfortable or tight. If your home and cars are paid off and your major bills are settled, you can possibly enjoy a comfortable retirement. In many areas, $5,000 to $6,000 a month can be enough. Just keep a budget in mind. In a lower cost state, like parts of Midwest or Southeast, your income can pay for property taxes, healthcare, and travel. This also leaves room for flexibility. In high cost areas like San Francisco or New York, $5,000 a month may not go as far. This is especially true if housing costs are high. So same million, very different lifestyle, very different outcome. Now let's talk about taxes. Because $40,000 does not mean $40,000 in your checking account. If you take out $40,000 from a traditional IRA and you're in the 22% bracket, you might owe over $8,000 in taxes. That means your real disposable income might be closer to $30,000 or about $2,600 per month, not $3,300. The difference alone could cover property taxes. Or not. And at $1 million, your margin for error is thinner. Healthcare inflation tends to run higher than headline inflation. Social Security becomes a larger percentage of your total income, and early mistakes matter more. Now, let me show you why this matters, especially at that $1 million mark. Research shows that the order of returns is more important than the average return. Bill Bengen's research in the 1990s found that negative returns can increase failure rates for safe withdrawals. This was also highlighted in the Trinity study that came later. So even with good long-term averages, early losses can hurt your chances. So we'll give it a practical example. Imagine 2 retirees, both with $1 million. Both withdraw $40,000 per year at 4% withdrawal rate, and over 20 years, both experience the same amount of average return, about 6%. On paper, they should end up in the same place, right? But they don't. Retiree enters retirement during strong markets. The first year returns are positive, say 8%. Even after withdrawing $40,000, the portfolio holds steady and grows slightly. Early gains support compounding. Fast forward 20 years, and this retiree may still have around $1.1 million remaining. Now look at retiree B. They retired just before a downturn. In 1 year, the market drops 20%. Their $1 million portfolio now falls to $800,000. They still withdraw $40,000 a year to live on, and now their base is about $760,000. So even if markets recover and the average out to about 6% over those 2 decades, the compounding is now happening on a smaller base. 20 years later, this retiree might be closer to $600,000. Same withdrawal rate, same long-term average, very different ending balance. Vanguard and Morning research show that early drawdowns with fixed withdrawals often lead to retirement plan failure. That sequence of returns risks. It's not just about how much the market returns, it's about when those returns show up. And the first 5 years of retirement are especially powerful, for better or worse. Michael Kitts has written extensively about this fragile decade at the beginning of retirement. Early losses combined with withdrawals can permanently impair sustainability, even if markets recover later. At $5 million, a bad early sequence may slow growth. At $1 million, it can materially change sustainability. This is why retirement isn't just a return problem. It's a timing problem. And it's also why strategies supported by research, like maintaining a 1 to 3 year cash buffer, adjusting withdrawals during downturn markets, and reducing discretionary expenses temporary, or even delaying retirement by a few years, can dramatically improve outcomes. Morningstar's more recent analysis suggests that flexible retirees, those that are willing to adjust spending modestly in down markets, can sustain higher initial withdrawal rates than rigid retirees. Because in retirement, protecting the early years protects everything that comes after. Now let's talk about 3 million. Most of these examples we're assuming is a dual income household, typically a married couple planning together. At 3% withdrawal, that's 90,000, 4%, 120,000, at 5%, that's $150,000 per year. On a monthly basis, that's roughly $7,500 at 3%, $10,000 at 4%, and $12,500 at 5%. Now let's layer Social Security. The average projected benefit, again, is $2,000 per month. So for a married couple, that could be closer to $4,100 per month combined, roughly $49,000 a year. So at 4% withdrawal, 120 from the portfolio, plus about 49,000 from Social Security, you're looking at approximately $169,000 in gross income. That's about $14,000 per month before taxes. Now here's the big observation. Spending determines everything. If your lifestyle requires $8,000 per month, this portfolio gives you cushion. But if your lifestyle requires $15,000 per month, the math tightens, even at $3 million. Retirement sustainability isn't dictated by portfolio size alone. It's dictated by the relationship between your spending and the structure that you have. And then we layer on taxes on top of this. Because again, $169,000 gross is not $169,000 spendable. If most of that income comes from pre-tax accounts, you may land in the 24% marginal tax bracket. Add state taxes and Medicare premiums, and your net monthly income shifts again. And then if you cross over $200,000 in gross income, Medicare increases 2 years later. You go above 250 and you might trigger the 3.8 net investable income tax. This is where coordination matters. If you retire at 60 and delay Social Security until 70, your benefit increases 8% per year between full retirement age and 70. That increases guaranteed inflation adjusted income for life, but also creates lower income years earlier, which open a window for strategic Roth conversions before required minimum withdrawals begin at 73. And this is where $3 million planning becomes powerful. Because at this level, you're not asking, do I have enough? You're asking, am I spending intentionally? Am I structuring withdrawals intelligently? And am I managing tax brackets proactively? Small decisions around spending and sequence can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars in lifetime taxes and portfolio longevity. And this is exactly what I guide professionals, families, and individuals on. Many of the professionals and families I work with are in this range. They're not worried about whether they have saved enough. They're asking, how do I make this portfolio last without living smaller than I need to? How do I align my spending so that it's sustainable? How do I coordinate Social Security and withdrawals? And how do I reduce lifetime tax drag? We model spending across withdrawal rates, we map bracket space year by year, and we evaluate conversion timing. It's not a projection, it's a durable plan. A confident one you can walk away knowing you'll get a comfortable and reliable paycheck regardless of good markets or bad markets. And if you're in that range and want help and a game plan forward, you can book a call with me to see if it's a good fit. I only offer a limited number of calls and spots, as I personally do these myself as we work to make sure there's a clear game plan towards retirement readiness and ultimately work optional living. You can book a call in the description box below. Now, let's talk about $5 million. At 3%, you're looking at $150,000 per year. At 4%, $200,000. At 5%, $250,000. And that's roughly $12,000 to over $20,000 per month before tax. Now layer in Social Security. If a couple receives approximately $4,100 per month combined, that's nearly $50,000 per year in additional income. So at a 4% withdrawal rate, you could be looking at roughly $250,000 in gross annual income, or over $20,000 a month before taxes. That's meaningful. But again, here's the important observation. Spending still governs everything. If your lifestyle is $12,000 per month, you have cushion. If it requires $25,000 per month, the math tightens, even at $5 million. The difference is, at this level, your risk shifts. $1 million, the fear is running out. At $3 million, the concern is more around optimization. And at $5 million, the risk becomes more structural. And here's also something that many high net worth retirees underestimate. If your portfolio continues compounding and you withdraw conservatively, you may actually grow wealth in retirement, which raises a completely different question. Are you intentionally preserving capital, or legacy, or unintentionally oversaving because you don't have clarity. At 5 million, retirement isn't budgeting. It's capital management. Now, let's address the big question. Should you consider higher withdrawal rates? Mathematically, yes. Larger portfolios can often sustain higher withdrawals, especially if spending is flexible. But can and should are different questions. If you retire at 60, you may be planning for 30 to 35 years. Longevity risk doesn't appear at higher net worth levels, and sequence of returns still matter, especially in the early retirement year. But durability still depends on three things: how long your retirement horizon truly is, how flexible your spending is, and how your income sources are structured. This isn't about arguing over 3% versus 4%. It's about intentional design. Do I retire this year? Do I work for 3 more years? Or possibly have like part-time income or reduce withdrawals pressure permanently? Do I convert strategically before RMDs begin? Do I intentionally gift or reposition assets for legacy? The goal isn't to maximize a withdrawal rate. It's to design something that is durable and aligned to your life. Because retirement at 5 million isn't just about income. It's about optionality. It's about deciding how much to send, how much to preserve, and how much to pass on without second guessing every market headline before coffee. And now that we understand what 1 million, 3 million, and 5 million can realistically generate, let's take a step back. Because your portfolio size alone doesn't determine retirement success. There are 4 forces that determine whether your retirement compounds or quietly drains. The first and most important is spending. Spending governs everything. Not portfolio size, not withdrawal rate, spending. I've seen this consistently in my client work. As income rises, lifestyle quietly rises with it. You make more, you upgrade home, travel gets nicer, cars get newer. None of it feels dramatic, but the baseline creeps. And in retirement, that baseline becomes your fixed obligation. At 3 million, spending $80,000 a year is durable. At 3 million, spending $200,000 a year requires a different structure. The math isn't emotional, but spending is. Retirement sustainability is simply the relationship between spending and structure. The most powerful lever isn't squeezing another 0.5% of return. It's intentional life design. Now the second force, timing. When you retire, changes everything. The traditional 4% rule assumed a 30-year retirement horizon. That works if you retired around 65. But if you retire at 55 or 60, your money may need to last 35 or even 40 years. That's longer runway, lower safe withdrawal rates, or require more flexibility. Timing also affects Social Security start dates, Roth conversions, required minimum distributions, and Medicare thresholds. So let me show you how timing interacts with structure and how income flexibility can change the math. Imagine retiring at 55 with 3 million. 1 million in brokerage and 2 million in a traditional IRA. Let's say your lifestyle target is $10,000 per month or $120,000 per year. If you pulled that entire amount from the $1 million brokerage account, that would be 12% withdrawal rate from the bucket. That's aggressive. Even at a 7% average return, you'd be drawing down the principal quickly. And here's where flexibility changes everything. Let's say you earn $3,000 per month from part-time consulting or rental income or a small business. Now your portfolio only needs to provide $7,000 per month or $84,000 per year. Now you're withdrawing about 8% from your brokerage instead of 12%. That's still higher than the 4%, but these are the years where your health is well and active years. And you're now intentionally allowing your $2 million retirement to compound untouched. And if that IRA compounds at 6% for 10 years, it grows roughly to 3.6 million at age 70. Now your structure looks very different. Instead of draining all the buckets at once, you've used timing, income flexibility, and sequencing to strengthen that long-term base. That's the difference between retiring cold and retiring with a bridge plan. And even a modest supplemental income, a few $1,000s per month, can dramatically extend sustainability. Retirement isn't all or nothing. Sometimes it's phased. Now, the third force, withdrawal strategy. Retirement may not only be one bucket you slowly drain. It's multiple buckets you have to organize. So where you draw from matters just as much as how much you draw. Brokerage withdrawals may be taxed at capital gains rate. Traditional IRA withdrawals are taxed as ordinary income. Roth withdrawals are taxed free. Even inside brokerage, strategy matters. Imagine if you had $100,000 this year from your brokerage account. So you sell $100,000 worth of stocks. Now here's the important part. When you sell investments in a brokerage account, you do not pay tax on the full $100,000. You only pay tax on the profit. So let's say you originally bought the stock for $40,000. It's now worth $100,000. that means you made a $60,000 profit. If you're in the 15% long-term capital gains bracket, you owe 15% on the $60,000 profit. So your total tax is $9,000 from that $100,000 stock sale. So you keep about $91,000 after federal capital gains tax. Now let's look at a smarter version. Instead of selling shares where you made $60,000 in profit, you sold shares where you only made $20,000 in profit. Same $100,000, but this time your profit is $20,000. 15% of $20,000 is $3,000. Now you only owe $3,000 in taxes. Same $100,000 withdrawal, $6,000 difference in tax. Nothing changed about how much money you took out. The only thing that changed was which shares you sold. And over 20 to 30 years on retirement, small decisions like that add up. That's the difference between selling randomly and selling intentionally. Same withdrawal amount, different tax impact. If your income is lower in early retirement, you may even realize capital gains at 0% federal rates, depending on your filing status and income. That's not aggressive. That's coordinated. And this is where flexibility lives. If markets decline early in retirement, adjusting withdrawals, even modestly, protects compounding. Now, the fourth, tax sequencing. Taxes are often the largest controllable expense in retirement, not just in 1 year, but over decades. If you retire at 60 and delay Social Security until 70, you may have lower income years before required minimum distributions begin at 73. Those years create a bracket space. For an example, converting $100,000 per year from your traditional IRA to Roth for 10 years moves $1 million into Roth. You pay taxes intentionally at controlled rates, you reduce future RMD pressure, and you create a tax growth bucket. By age 70, Social Security may add another $70,000 or more per year in inflation-adjusted income. Now you don't need to withdraw as much from your portfolio, and you can choose which bracket to withdraw from each year. That's tax sequencing, not reacting, designing. When you combine these four forces, spending discipline, intentional timing, coordinating withdrawal strategy, and multi-year tax planning, retirement becomes durable. Not because you chase returns, but because you structured it intelligently. And again, this is the work that I do with clients. We don't guess at withdrawal rates, we model spending, we map income year by year, we pressure test tax bracket, and we coordinate Social Security and all your other retirement income to design a plan that moves you towards retirement readiness and ultimately work optional living. Because retirement isn't about reaching a number, it's about aligning capital with the life you actually want to live. Now next, I'm going to talk about a portfolio operating system. It's simply the way you turn your investments into a predictable, tax-aware monthly income with rules and guardrails built in it. Think of your portfolio like a personal pension. Instead of reacting to the market every month, you define a sustainable monthly distribution based on your spending, timing, and tax strategy. So let's say that number is $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 per month. That amount flows to your main checking account. From there, it's intentionally allocated. First, your tax reserve, because if you're realizing capital gains or doing Roth conversions, you need a plan for tax bill before it surprises you. Second, is going to go to your core bills: housing, utilities, insurance, healthcare. These are your non-negotiables. And third is any temporary obligations you have. Maybe that's your kids' college or still paying off a mortgage. Those are the transition debts that you have to include. These have an end date, but don't become permanent lifestyle creep. Fourth is what we'll say projects. Home renovations, large planned expenses. These are separated so that they don't quietly inflate your baseline spending. And finally, lifestyle. Discretionary spending, travel, dining, entertainment. This is where flexibility lives. If markets decline, this is where you first adjust. Notice what's happening here. The markets can fluctuate, but your monthly lifestyle does not. Excess returns stay invested. Spending is capped. Large projects are isolated. Taxes are pre-funded. And this is how you create stability inside volatility. Because retirement isn't about checking your portfolio balance every morning. It's about knowing your cash flow is structured. And here's the most important part. Future income like Social Security becomes a buffer. When Social Security begins, portfolio withdrawals decrease. That reduces drawdown pressure. It increases durability, and that's not accidental. That's design. And this is what moves you from, I think we're fine, to we have a system. Because retirement isn't just math. When you combine spending discipline, intentional timing, coordinating withdrawals, and smart tax planning into a simple operating system, your portfolio stops feeling like a volatile asset and starts behaving like an income engine. If you like help building that kind of coordinating, durable retirement plan, you can book a call with me through the link below. And if this helped you think differently about retirement, please do subscribe. I share practical strategies to help people build wealth, balance life, and create a prosperous future for their families. Because retirement isn't about hitting a number, it's about aligning your money with the life you actually want to live. Friends, if you made it this far, this was a super long video. video. So thanks for watching. You can check out my next video over here. See you in the next one.